if I could just jump in with a quick one on Scott as well. Just how do you deal with that situation as a head coach? Do you sit players down individually?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a very topical thing. The mental health side of it. Um, Scott's a smart lad, and there were elements of risk, and it was an excellent sort of diagnosis from our medical team, really, which could have been catastrophic if we had not, because it was fairly innocuous, from a training point of view, where we think, either the game before it or the session after it, where there was a potential injury. It was a bit like, my neck's a little bit sore, but on further investigation, thank God that we found what we did. So for his own sake. So look, I think that pragmatism obviously plays a part. It doesn't lessen the shock. It doesn't lessen the impact on the individual, the team, his family, etc. Because all of a sudden it's something that's not planned for. And the good thing is, I said, he's an intelligent lad. He's got business interests outside of rugby, so he's taken care of himself, which is probably a lesson that a lot of players should adhere to. He's made a plan for life after rugby, and actually, from a transition point of view, that makes it easy. You saw in his exit how much he cares about the Ospreys. He's still going to be part around it. He's still supplying coffee to us all, so he'll be around the place. And I'm really pleased about that, because we want to try and keep the family feel and one of our owners connected to us as possible.
What was the squad's reaction to it? Obviously, the players form probably the closest bonds of anybody at a sporting organisation. How did they react to it?
Well, I mean, the testament to Scott is, and I'm telling sort of tales from the changing room, but I think it's probably apt, and he wouldn't mind. Is he wanted to tell the team. He wanted to tell the team himself. He didn't want me to do it. He didn't want to explain. So he came into the team room and explained it. And it was a very emotional thing for him and for us to watch. And the reaction to the team was, outstanding. Probably in my time in rugby, it's probably up there in the top three sort of emotional moments of what I've witnessed within a team. And that tells me that I've got a lot of the right people on the bus and a very good culture, because it was ultimately put the wagons in the circle, and it didn't really matter about, in that moment, all that mattered was Scott. And, that's the definition of friendship and teamship and culture right there in a nutshell.
With regards to Scott Williams, letting players go, are they difficult conversations as well? Do you sit those players down individually and have those conversations with them?
Yeah, I respect him. It's horrific. It's a horrific thing to have to broach. And you, as I said, you do it as respectfully and honestly as you can. Players respect honesty. It's not a nice conversation. It's effectively a selection conversation, magnified tenfold, and that's really brutal, to be fair. And unfortunately, I try and be as empathetic as I can, and also help with certain players, trying to help them, give them good references for whatever their future entails. And that would be the same for Scott, for Luke Price, for the boys that you mentioned. Those boys have bought into the shirt, paid into the shirt, and as a result, we'll pay them the ultimate respect on how we do things as much as I can. And I don't get everything right, for sure, but I'll make sure that I can manage their exit for their best advantage as I can.
Scott will probably be frustrated himself with the way things have gone with his injuries in the last few years. It seems like every time he gets going, something niggles again, and we've all looked on and probably shared that level of frustration. Have you sort of shared in that with him as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the last one was a significant one. He's back training now. He's just about available for selection now. So at least he's fit. And that provides an opportunity for future employment. But Scott's conducted himself brilliantly throughout. Both in the adherence to his rehab, but he understands it. Obviously, there was disappointment, and he's been, as you'd expect, a man of his standing, and I use the term man, not just player, of his standing to be. He was professional about it. And he's put his best foot forward. He hasn't done anything but been the consummate professional since then.
You said obviously Scott's just getting back fit. I mean, from what you see to him day to day. Do you think he's got, you know, another club or another contract in him? Is he capable of still playing on from what you've seen?
100%. You know, part of, you know, he's as competitive as ever. He's, you know, he leads, he talks well, you know, and you know, he's certainly, you know, I've had clubs ask me for references. I'm not going to tell you who they are, so don't ask me, you know, around that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think Scott's still got a big part to play. You know, he's certainly not finished. He's got the right attitude around it, and you know, if he wherever he ends up, you know, he'll definitely add value for sure.